Hey everyone, welcome to another Painting with Jay. As always, my name is Jay, so grab a brush, grab some models, grab some paints, and paint along with me. Let's rid our world of unpainted models. Adam, you missed a spot. Hello to Cody Roo. That was in one solid breath. Excellent. So today I'm going to be working on some models from the Rogue Trader box set. I'm really excited to be painting them. They look really cool, and I can't wait to get a couple battle reports in the near future playing the game. It'd be a lot of fun. So as you can see, I got a little bit of sun over the weekend. I'm pretty tanned. That's okay. Got a lot of sun. But we're going to talk about life, love, and the pursuit of happiness in this week's episode. So yes, let's get started now. Hey everyone, so today I will be working on these new models. For example, this is a Voidsman model from the new Rogue Trader box set. Now I have already finished painting one model, which I'm doing a tutorial on. Here he is. Larsen Vandergraus. Turned out pretty cool. I'm pretty happy with him. So he'll be a cool model. I expect a tutorial in the near future, probably the next few days. And today I'm just going to work on the other models. Now there's a bunch of them, and I'm having a bit of fun. They're not something that you can really batch paint. So I'm going to just be painting them over the next little while, basically. My palette. I have some Hoth green, blue. And I'll be doing the base coating on their shirts and pants. You know, so that's what I'm gonna be working on today. I don't really know what I'm gonna do with these guys as far as order goes of painting. I've been painting just a little bit base colors on each one of that, or I might just put them down. These specific Voidsman down, and I've base coated a couple other models with the main colors, so I can work on them as well. Maybe it's better to just work on one model as opposed to these guys, but that's okay. I'm okay with either one. So today, as I said, the first step is just to paint in all the Hoth blue. So yeah, as I said, I'm excited to play these guys. These models look awesome. I should have done a codex review. I regret not doing it. Maybe I will. But the rules are already pretty much out for them. I should have done a codex review. I do see the Nurgling, the infected guys, being used a lot more in battle reports and games and tournaments than I am these guys. The Star Striders, they're cool, they're fun, and I'm definitely going to put them in a couple battle reports because, well, might as well, if I'm painting them, right? I'm going to spend all this time getting them nice and good looking. I'm going to definitely play my friend Stu and I are going to play the campaign, so we're going to get everyone looking nice for the campaign, and there we go. So he's all done. Yeah, I think that's it. So we're going to do the campaign for Rogue Trader and have some fun with that. Do the whole set of missions. Also a great way to film a bunch of content for you all, so it's good. Everyone wins. Cool. Alright, so maybe all this paint is not, it's a wet palette anyway, but I'm just going to do a second coat. 2 thin coats, very Duncan-esque on these models. So I've already done the flesh tones on all of them. That's the one thing I did do for all of them. I did the flesh tones. And I'm going to do a painting tutorial or miniature painting 101, just the Doberman. I want to paint that dog. This is his own little mini tutorial. Yeah, that'd be kind of fun. So I'll do that for a miniature painting 101. Yeah. So what else is new? Not a whole lot. This, as you see, I did a review on the Rogue Trader box set. or an unboxing, sorry. It is really cool, and yeah, I'm excited to play these guys. I do like the models. I really do like these models. They're really nice, detailed. GW always produces really nice models. You know, they always like, this is basically me. You know, I'm always like, oh yeah, I don't need to buy any new models, and then all of a sudden, new kit comes out, and I'm like, oh, there goes my money. As with many of you, feel the same way. So, there's another one. There's 4 of these guys. The one I was just painting originally has a really cool gun. So, but actually, well, one of them is a woman, but you know what I mean. So I've already been to a couple fall fairs. The fall fairs have started up. In this area in Peterborough, there's really, this time of year, there's a fall fair every weekend in a different city within, you know, a little bit of a drive. So we've already been to the Port Perry Fair. Orono was last week, but I was busy. Basically, so here's the story. I was at a wedding, and I was just, you know, I didn't really know, well, I know the bride and groom. It's not like I'm a complete stranger to them, but I'm not really, you know, besties with them, but they're good people. They're good people who like, they're good people who like people. And so I was invited to this wedding. Now, to be fair, I did a lot of like services. My girlfriend's parents hosted the wedding, so I was really there to like, I helped park cars. I you know, helped with seating. I helped with setup and takedown stuff. You know, like I was more there as a laborer than. Something's off about this. Let's check out the lighting. You guys see, it's a little dark. Maybe it's just the way that the lighting is at the moment today. Yeah, maybe it's just the lighting in this room today. That's okay. You guys can clearly see the model I'm working on. In fact, it kind of creates this cool darkness around it. So, yeah, so that was okay. And you know, I had a good time. For those of you who follow me on Facebook, you saw some shenanigans I got up to. But that's okay. So, obviously, fun, clean shenanigans. And so, just before the wedding, just as the wedding was starting, literally, the bride's walking down the aisle. Now, obviously, my phone was on silent, and my watch was on silent, but I got a phone call from my good friend Ken Badger. All right, Ken from Badger. And, you know, as you guys know, I do, I'm friends with Ken from Badger Airbrushes, and I tend to go just and chill with him at conventions whenever I can, like Adepticon or Gen Con, you know, just for fun. So he gave me a call, and I was like, oh, why is Ken? No, Ken lives in Chicago, where Badger Airbrushes is located. So I was like, oh, why is Ken from Chicago calling me? And funny enough, Ken's in Toronto for the weekend. And those of you who don't know, I live about an hour and 15 minutes away from the airport hotel that he was staying at for the convention. There we go. So that is one color. So now all I'm going to do here is add a little bit of white, lighten this up a little bit, and then go back and do a couple quick highlights. Some edge highlights and stuff, and yeah. We'll get these clothes done, and then we'll go from there. And then there's this guy. As I said, this guy is the one I might. Sorry about that. I actually forgot to wipe off my memory card, and it filled up. Oops. So here's the other guy. I might just turn my attention to him, Voidmaster Niche. I might just work on him for the rest of the video. That's the other option. I really like his look too. So, we'll see. I'm debating whether or not to have, you know, just take this model by model and really focus on each one, or batch paint. As I said, those 4 guys I could probably batch paint together, but the rest of them I don't think so. There's a lot of detail on them, and they're very distinct models. That's okay. As I said, I already got 1 down and 9 more to go. So this might be my painting with Jays for the next few. I really should have them done in the near future, because I really want to do a set of videos with them. And I prefer have, you know, the models painted by the time I film with them. So I'm just adding a little bit of white, and I'm just going to do some detailing on these guys, just a little bit of edge details and stuff. And, yeah. As I said, I don't think I'm going to use them a lot in battle reports, just because they're okay. The models, I think the infected are going to be used a lot more, but I'm not really going to use them because I don't play Nurgle armies. It's not my, you know, I have many armies. It's just not my particular army of preference, but that's okay. So, this guy's up. Yep. His sleeves. There we go. Just some of the edge details, pick up on them, on the raised details. And yeah, as I said, this guy is not too bad. I like, as I said, the details are quite nice on them. I'm going to go on it. Boots go to there. Cool. I don't know what I'm doing right now with this stuff. Just kind of painting. Alright, there we go. And for this guy, same thing, I'll do the cuffs. Yeah, this girl. Just breaks up the monotony of the blues. For a sec. Now, obviously, with these guys, it's going to be a lot of just those. What I'll do is I'll go back and clean it up a little bit by. It's a little too strong of a highlight. I noticed that too, and I'm okay with that. I'll just blend a little bit more blue into this combination, and then go in and just sharpen these highlights. There we go. My camera is being interesting. That's okay. There we go. I'll reset that. Yeah, so these are coming along. Sorry, the fairs, or that's where I was at. I was going to the fair, which is fun. I like the fall fairs. It's very fall-esque, you know. Fall is definitely here. It feels like it came all of a sudden, and that's okay. That's what always happens, you know. It always hits you like a ton of bricks, and then before not, it will be snowing. You know, in Canada, where I live, we can get snow. We can get snow late October. Typically, it'd be November, and then yeah, snow time. I need to get some new snow tires this year. My car cannot handle the snow when it is on normal tires. So right now I'm just picking up some details. The collar of the shirts. Just to break up the monotony of the blues. Of course, there's going to be a lot of other colors that go in around these colors, as you can see. Yeah. I'm preparing for the trip that I mentioned last week. I'm going to Europe, and that'll be really fun. I'm excited for a break. I need to just get away from work for a little while. Not my videos, obviously, but my work. It's been, it's been a busy year. I've worked very hard. My company's fiscal year is almost over. So, I like this guy's holding out a cigar. It's kind of funny. Whoever designed him's like, yeah, let's make one of them hold a cigar. Works for me. Kind of cool. Yeah, so it'll be a really good trip. I'm really looking forward to it. I like your comments from last week. Thank you for letting me know some places to go to. And some of the viewers were able to chime in. It's good. I'm really looking forward to it. Oh, dropped. As I said, it'll be a couple weeks, so obviously there won't be any videos for a little while. But that's okay. I've done longer periods with no videos, so you guys will be okay. Maybe I'll program some stuff to automatically come out. If I start filming the little mini campaign with Stu beforehand, which should happen in the next couple weeks, next week or two. So that should be fine. There we go. So all I'm gonna do now is mix a little bit more of the Hof blue back in and just sharpen those highlights a little bit, thin them down. So what I love about using a wet palette is just you can mix a little more in and keep it going. There we go. So it's a little bit lighter than it was. There we go. That's more like it. These guys, so they're very much a work in progress, and one by one, they'll be finished, and they'll look good. And my 0, there we go. So back to him. And yeah, as I said, I was slowly but surely found one of my old jackets that I'm gonna bring with me to Europe. So I'm washing it as we speak. It's always funny when at that moment when you open. I guess this happens to people who have winter jackets too. But when you open up an old jacket and you find stuff that you were looking for, I found one of my sunglass cases I was looking for, a little bit of money. I'm like, it's rewarding. Everything that you keep in your pockets, and then every time you open up your old jacket. So, first question, you guys. What is the funniest thing you've ever found, or the coolest thing you've ever found, opening up an old jacket? There you go. So, as you can see, a little bit more lively. They look a little cleaner. The collar. There we go. Much cleaner. Yeah. So yeah, I'm thinking after these guys, I might just turn my attention, or maybe I could still probably try to batch paint to a little bit of an extent, right? And just keep going. I don't need to batch paint, but it's just nice when I don't have a lot of time in the next few days. So it's just gonna be nice to be able to get these guys done and ready to be on the tabletop. I do like the skin tones. For these guys I used the tanned skin triad from Reaper. Good. That's good for me. Now, what next? I could do their helmets. Yeah. The golds I can paint all together. Silvers, golds, hair. Okay. Yeah, let's just keep painting. That's what matters. As I said, we're gonna keep painting these guys and go from there. Next, I'm gonna grab my Ghost White. I really want a colder white for this first part. And I'll add some to my palette. Ghost White is... Do I have any more Ghost White? Yes, I do. I always have Ghost White. It's one of my colors I always keep on hand. Ghost White is by Reaper. And it's a cold white. So it's a slight off-white. And it's more on the colder spectrum. So it's blue. It's nice and thin. So it goes on quite lovely on these guys. And what I'll do is after this I'll do a soft body black just to get a little bit in the details and then re-highlight up with more white. I don't think that's going to be white in the end anyway, that piece that I just painted. There we go. These are very much a work in progress, but that's okay. Over the next week or two, should be the next week, I should have them all painted, hopefully. But it's like painting, you know, I said I try to get like an hour in a day, and it's 10 models, but they're very much like characters, right? So, they have detail. They're not orc boys or necrons. So, it takes a little more time. There we go. So we'll let that dry, and then do another quick coat of it, and then some soft body black. Once again, let's paint a helmet here. 2. There's number 3. This guy, Mr. Cigar. They do have a little bit of a Judge Dredd look to them, like their helmet style. Like that. 3-color minimum. We've hit it. Yeah, so, back to my story. So I was at a wedding. I'm getting a little off track. So that's okay. I was at a wedding, and then Ken called me. And so he just said, yeah, hey Jay, I'm in Toronto for the weekend at Sword and Brush. The miniature, it's a miniature showcase and tournament. Like medieval times, dinner and tournament. And I'm gonna do his hat. I'll do his hat blue too. Well, this is. And hey, if you have time, come down to Toronto and just join me, and we can hang out. And I haven't seen Ken since Adepticon, so I gladly would. I was busy Saturday, so I headed over on Sunday. And then after the wedding, I got another message from a fellow wargamer who I occasionally run into in life, Scary from Scarredcast. And he said, hey Jay. Again, hey Jay. Would you like to go and participate in them? There's a tournament every year in Barrie for a gentleman named Mike Mudd, in memorial of Mike Mudd. It's called Mike Mudd Memorial Great Alliteration Tournament. It's for a charity cause. It's a really good tournament, and it's fun. I think it's still going to be quasi-competitive, but the rules are a little more interesting in the sense that you can only, it's one detachment. It's a battalion detachment. It's only 100 points, 100 power levels, 1,500 points, So there's not, you can bring one Forge World model. So it's not the most crazy cutthroat tournament. Now, I guess there's still be some really competitive lists, especially for armies like Dark Eldar. As we've seen, as I've witnessed, Dark Eldar can be very powerful even with no-name characters. So, I'm like, you know what? I checked my schedule. I thought I was originally going to be in Europe at the time of it, but there we go. Look at that. He has 3 colors now too. But it turns out it's the weekend after I get back. So I thought, you know what? It's for charity. Scary's a good guy. I might as well do it. So I signed up. So I'm going to the Mike Mudd tournament, Mike Mudd Memorial Tournament in late October. Yeah, it's all good. And so then I went to, on Sunday, I went to Brush and Sword. It is very dry in my house. This stuff's drying like instantly. I like it. So I went to Sword and Brush, sorry it's called, and it was really cool. And then obviously I walked into the room, and the very first person I see is my friend Scary. I was like, what the heck? Small world. I didn't know Scary was going to be there. And then of course I saw Ken, and I even hung out briefly with Chris from Miniwargaming, my old coworker. Hi there. Hi there. Chris here with another video. For you all. Chris is a good guy. And so yeah, it was good. We hung out. Yeah. And it was pretty random. So, at lunchtime, we went out for lunch. It's just in the hotel. There was a restaurant, right? A restaurant at the hotel. And now, we talked a little bit about politics, not too much. We talked more about painting and airbrushes, because I was hanging out with Ken for lunch. And just life, and we have a lot of common friends and members of the WGC. It's nice to get, catch up and hear about them, how they're doing, because I don't see them very often. I'm the Canadian in the group. So we were just talking. We talked a little bit about politics and, a little about Donald Trump, and I'm not going to get into any politics or anything, but there's some parallels between Donald Trump in the States and the new Premier of Ontario. For those of you who aren't from Canada, a Premier is someone who is in charge of the province. So it is like in the States they have congressmen, congressmen. And, it would just be the person in charge of the state, right? It's the person in charge of the province. His name is Doug Ford. Now, he has a very infamous family because his brother, the late Rob Ford, was the former mayor of Toronto, who many of you know was like the crack-smoking mayor. He brought some interesting attention to Toronto about this stuff. But there we go. Second coat. And I'm very Duncan-ish with this. But so Doug Ford, who's Rob Ford's older brother, he is the Premier of Ontario. And we talked a little bit about just, politics, not too much. I don't like to talk about politics usually, but I just mentioned a little bit about Doug Ford. He's an interesting guy who likes people. And I was chilling with Ken and a guy named Raphael, a local from Toronto. And we're just eating and having a good time talking about life and stuff. And then all of a sudden, while I have a little bit of white, I'm going to paint this guy. This person's dominant color is white as well. So while we're talking, some guy walks up to our table and says, "Hey guys, how's it going?" And we're like, good. I didn't really see him very well at first. But we just turned and said, "Oh, good. How are you doing?" He's like, good. That's great. And continues on his way. Now it's at a convention, so it started right down the it's one floor beneath where, Sword and Brushes. So I was assuming it was Wargamer related. And then Raphael turns and says, Hey Jay, is that who I think it is? And sure enough, it was Doug Ford, the Premier of Ontario. That was pretty funny. So, yeah. And first thought was, did we talk about him here? I think we did. We didn't want to talk about him too loudly. We didn't say anything bad in particular. But it was really random. So I asked the waitress, of course, what's Doug Ford doing? The Premier of Ontario, what's he doing at a restaurant, at a hotel, near an airport in Toronto? And it turns out he lives close to there. And he goes there all the time. That's one of his favorite restaurants to meet people at and eat breakfast during the weekend. And he goes there, and he goes and has breakfast, has meetings, and then he likes to talk to the patrons. And apparently they really like him there. He's a good tipper, and he treats them well. So that's pretty random. So we were talking to Ken, obviously, and we're like, "Hey, you just met our Premier." And, yeah, so it shows. He was there for a weekend and met arguably one of the more powerful politicians in Canada. I would say he's in the top 4 or 5 most powerful politicians in Canada. Just because he's in charge of Ontario, which is the biggest province by population. I've been painting over gray for these guys, and painting over gray is interesting to me because it feels like until you're done, like done, everything's incomplete. You know, with black or white, with white especially, I feel the same way. But black, it's just until it's painted, it looks like shadow. You know, it's just heavy shadowing and stuff. But gray, as you can see here, it really stands out to me. It looks unnatural, but that's okay. I do like painting over gray because these guys are a lot of light colors, as you can see. I was actually debating whether or not to paint over white or gray, but I said to just do gray. And I'm only one color, you know, I'm doing thin coats, I'm only one, you know, I've done flesh tones on them, and I think the name of this video is going to be, so I was at a wedding. So yeah, it was quite the adventurous weekend. It was an adventurous weekend. So I got to hang out with Ken, and catch up with Scary, and catch up with Chris from Miniwargaming. I went to a wedding. It's a pretty good weekend, busy weekend, you know. And it was a Friday wedding, so I took the Friday off, so it was a long weekend for me after an actual long weekend in Canada. So it was kind of cool. I don't mind that at all. 3-day weeks are fun, but then of course you have a lot of stuff to get back to. But yeah. There we go. That's tournament ready, isn't it? No, I'm kidding. At Brush, sort of Brush though. The tournament had very, very loose guidelines for painting. And I don't know, I'm a painter and a player, and I like both. So I don't paint amazingly, I don't play amazingly, but I do both. And I'm like, okay, like a good chunk of I'd say a majority of the armies were painted to a decent standard. I find tabletop at least, but not all of them. Some of them were just literally like maybe airbrushed one color or primed one color. Most of them were primed one color, I'd say, or maybe like mixed primed that they sprayed black and then from an angle hit it with a red primer. It wasn't tournament to me quality, but I'm not gonna. Well, I am judging, I guess, but yeah, to me it was just like, okay, you could have. I understand you want to play and it's awesome. I like painting models. I like to see painted models. So maybe with the base coats done, I'm going to turn my attention to him for the last half an hour because I can work on the other guys as well. Maybe I'll hit them with a soft body black shade or something. Let's focus on him. I'm really wanting. I'm drawn to this model. I really want to paint him. So let's turn our attentions to the next half an hour. Voidmaster niche. He is the knight who says niche. So what else? And I want to get some white on my palette and just highlight up that little skirt thing. That. And let's paint up that. This will be a little bit truer of a white. Yeah, well, it's a truer white, of course. And then we'll do the blue part of it and just keep working away on him. I think I might be able to get some work done over the next 20 minutes on him. That's cool. So for this battle report that I'm going to film soon, it might be a few models with just base coats. That's okay. Maybe if I can get the majority of them done before I can film. One's really done, and then the other ones are... This guy's... Yeah, as I said, in an hour a day, I can get... I can do a bit of work a day. You know, an hour isn't bad, I find. And then... I bet I can do an hour a day, and with an hour a day I could probably paint these guys over the next week or so. And then the next color I should just go back to that blue. Nope, I'm out. I should have used up all of it. Use my wet palette. Used up all of it. So let's go back to the Hoth blue. And paint that little trim on his cloth. And then we'll start painting maybe his hair. Work away from that. Yeah. There we go. Yeah, what a busy weekend. I'm gonna have some busy weekends coming up though for the next little while. I don't think, yeah, I think every weekend's gonna be busy until I leave, so. Cool, happens. My summer shows are almost over. I haven't really caught up with America's Got Talent this year. American Ninja Warrior. I'm not going to spoil that for anybody. But that's over now. And then, so the fall shows are starting soon. So my next question to you guys, are there any shows that you're really looking forward to starting in the fall? Obviously, like everyone's looking forward to Game of Thrones. It's going to start in a while. Let's paint the hair. Let's do some gray liner. Game of Thrones is next year, but people are just counting down the days. Walking Dead starts soon. Andrew Lincoln is leaving the show. I haven't watched, to be honest, I haven't watched Walking Dead in about 3 years. I found it got old, you know, and I think the show's kind of run a course. It was really popular, peaked, you know, and they just keep making it. And obviously there's so much source material to go with, and the show is very slow compared to the source material, right? But the fact that major actors just keep getting killed off, and kind of unnecessarily, to be honest. I don't think, like, I'm not gonna say, I don't want to say anything. I don't want to ruin anybody's. But yeah, a couple characters have been killed off recently that were like, why did you kill off that character? No real reason to. And the show's kind of gotten old and run its course. So I wouldn't, I'm just going to bring it closer to me for a second. It's hard to see the details of the hair from a distance. And so there's a bit of a distinct, I use gray liner for the hair, blue liner for the suit. There we go. We'll let that dry and then add a little bit of white and do a light dusting, like a dry brush just to pick up on the, to give some texture. And his wires coming to his face. Yeah. 3 color minimum. What else can I do in the meantime? Silvers? Sure. Let's do some silver. Maybe the straps. Yeah. Straps first. So for the straps, I'll paint some Mornfang brown and hit it with a Wrinkling Flash Shade. But I'm really looking forward to these guys being done and painted. As I said, my AdMech will always be a side project for me as well. I'll be painting them over the next little while. I'll probably have them done, the AdMech, maybe by the, maybe not by the end of the year anymore. The fact that I'm losing September, I'm probably going to be painting these guys for September. I thought I was going to be painting the AdMech guys. But then, GW, you make some more awesome models, and I'm painting them. No, I'm not saying more awesome than the AdMech, just more awesome, as in they made more awesome models. There were some awesome models, and then they added more. I like it, the AdMech guys. In fact, the first guy I painted he's an AdMech. Rogue Trader. I just want to clean up my brush. It's starting to... There we go. Make sure it's all nice and... Yeah. But I could easily spend like 2 hours on this one model alone. And so, yeah, it's going to be a little bit of a paint challenge. Get these eyes all done. That's okay. The model I want to paint the least is actually the HQ. Just the least interesting model to me. That's okay. For my opinion. I really want to paint the Doberman. So as I said, I'm going to do that one over a Miniature Painting 101 or Painting with J, or not a Painting with J, painting tutorial. I think a Miniature Painting 101 would be kind of fun to do it. Just a mini, because it's a smaller model, only has a few colors. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. As you can see, at least this one model. I fit 3 color minimum on a couple of them. This guy has a few more than 3 colors. Get those straps done. Alright. Let's paint on him. Oh, there's that strap as well. The strap's going down his back. Yep. There we go. Need more brown. Paint more strap, and then the gun. So I was at a wedding That's on my... Yeah, that's definitely the name of this episode. Brush down, back to the 0. Look at that. I'll clean up the suit on the back as well. That's good. And there's all this little fine detail in the clothing that I'm going to just pick up with yellows after. It'll really pop. And then for the part of the gun, I'm just going to paint. I'm going to differentiate the two colors, one with different shades, a brown shade versus a regular flesh shade. So. Look at that. I guess next, I'll just do the shading, no, so the hair, give the browns a chance to dry. Yeah, give the brown a chance to dry. And let's do the hair. So the hair, I just need a small brush like this with a little bit of, texture to it. We're gonna add a little bit of just white to the gray liner, just a tiny bit. Need a little more. It's too dark, won't be too much of a texture. Maybe a tiny bit more. Put him right here. Look at that. There we go, a little bit lighter. Alright, wipe off the majority of it. And let's just do a little. There we go. So it looks like he's going a little gray. That looks good. The browns are still drying, so I will maybe do a quick highlight of the white, or sort of blue, on the little cloth thing. Get that done, a little edge highlight, and then the shades are just, it's just too wet right now for a shade, so I'll give it a sec, let it dry. No rush, right? Just go whiter. Here we go. There. Cool. Maybe I should do gold. That'd be kind of cool. Golden. Yeah. Should be a lot of gold in this guy as well. Silver's first. Yeah, there'll be a lot of golds. Alright, so what we'll do is we'll bust out the Reikland Flesh Shade first. And I'll probably finish after this step. I don't know, we're at 15 minutes, I think, roughly. I don't. The problem is the thing stopped, so I have no idea where we're at for time. Excuse me. Good. The brown is still wet. So let's paint silvers. I'm going to do the trim gold, the metals gold. Yeah, he'll have a lot of gold on him in the end, yellow gold. I'm doing very bright. But I do need to I'll paint silvers first. Just so a little bit of lead belcher. Lead belcher first. Perfect. I think that's actually it for the silver. His little backpack thing will be silver. Yeah. So maybe a little more silver. As I said, painting over gray, you can always tell what needs to be done because it's gray. I'll do that cord as well. Oh, there's another strap that I missed. Oh, just noticed it. So, let me go back and fix that too. Yeah, I wonder if I actually started with this guy, would I actually be close to done? Oh, whatever. He's on his way. Definitely working. Look at that. Looks a lot better than when we started. And easily this will be my next completion. I only have about, it's another hour. And I could get this guy done. One more painting with Jay. But I'm not going to wait till next week, right? I'm going to keep working on my models. Got to rid my world of unpainted models. Of course, I say that and then I go out and buy new models. Oops. Let's fix that. But I've definitely painted significantly more models this year than I've purchased. That I am certain. Good. Look at that. So here's a little bulb there. I'll hit it with a shade. And now, look at that. Voidmaster niche is coming along. It'll be done in no time. Yeah. So, now you know what? Let's paint a little more. I bet we can paint a little bit more before the end of this video. Let's keep going. I'm having a great time. I wonder what time it is. Oh. Actually, yeah, it is getting pretty late. Yeah. Alright. You know what? I will end now. So that concludes another painting with Jay. I really hope you got some stuff done and that your worlds are slowly being ridden of unpainted models as well. I'm excited to get Voidmaster Niche done and then the rest of the awesome models from the new Rogue Trader box set. And it's going to be really cool. And stay tuned for videos. I'll definitely try to get some of these guys into battle reports, especially doing the campaign from the rulebook. And yeah, stay tuned for more videos. Till next time, this is Jay, and obviously, as of course, the video is brought to you by all my Patreon subscribers. As you can see, their names go by my head. It's because of them that I can keep making these videos. So please help, check out the link in the description below, and support my Patreon campaign if you see value in my videos. Stay tuned for more videos. Until next time, this is Jay saying happy painting with me.